everybody. You can call me Hunch. We're going to do a quick video here. Update on Stacks, what I think. Yeah, so this is what I think. I think if you're not invested in Stacks, I still think it's a good long-term project. If you're like kind of like a pseudo Bitcoin Stacks maxi, I would tone down the Stacks maxi thing at this point. I mean, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me, right? And I'm not saying there's any wrongdoing here, but they just take a long time to get their stuff together. The foundation, or whatever you want to call it, Stacks organization. You know, one good thing about Stacks, though, is that they take a lot of feedback from the community, right? We have a small market cap of around $1 billion. I do think if we do become the leading L2, which is we have a ton of actual Bitcoin in SBTC, the PEG Bitcoin, I do think it can be easy to get to 10 billion. Now, if you're, you know, have a ton of Stacks, maybe you have too much Stacks, I would be trying to take out small amounts on a pump, leave obviously a small amount stacked. I do think Stacks is very important for decentralization and rails to move Bitcoin, but at this point, right, if you watch Michael Saylor and if you just look at the structure of the market a little bit and think about it, it's possible that we don't have a crazy bear market anymore. Bitcoin dominance keeps going up. Now, that's not to say that won't happen, but I would be trying to accumulate longer term holds. To me, it doesn't make any sense to be accumulating anything for the long term unless it's Bitcoin, ETH, and Solana if you have a ton of Stacks. If you don't have Stacks, I would be accumulating at least a decent amount to stake for the long term. That's just my opinion. You know, I'm a little confused by Stacks, right? They have all these institutional partners, you know, loading up for a Bitcoin DeFi, I think, but we just don't have retail. I don't really know what it is, but to me, it just seems like, you know, if you're exposed to Stacks, shift the mindset, go more major L1s. You know, I like Bitcoin, ETH, and Solana. AVAX is good if you like AVAX, I think. But that's just my opinion. You know, I'm not leaving Stacks. It just doesn't make sense that, you know, Stacks just keeps collapsing against Bitcoin, where some of these other prominent L1s, you know, can maintain a decent amount. But that's not saying much. I mean, you would have been far better off just continuing to stack Bitcoin. But again, for the longer term, I just think accumulating as much Bitcoin, obviously, and then Ethereum, I think, is in second, and then Solana at this point is in third. But just be careful, not financial advice. Anyway, you can call me Hunch. That's what I think. I still love Stacks, but God, you know, I really hope we can turn the ship around. I thought it was turned around, and I still think it's turned around. I think people are maybe overreacting to the SIP 31, where we have to, you know, increase funding a little bit for certain things. But the risk is not worth the squeeze if you are already exposed to Stacks in a real deep way. Anyway, you could call me Hunch.